Hello everyone. Welcome to Skills Build Training YouTube channel. I am Sanya and this channel is all about showing you how to become an IT pro fast. So, in today's video, we will discuss about Linux directories, file system and structure. So, let's get started. Let's suppose if you want to know the details of a file inside your system, how a program is working, how you can see all the installed programs inside your system, when you will log in your PC, where will you be placed, how you can fetch and save your data, and how you can organize and understand valuable information from your data. The answer to all of these questions is very simple, that is Linux file system and directories. Linux file system is generally a built-in layer of Linux operating system used to handle the data management of the storage. It helps to arrange the file on the disk storage. It manages the file name, file size, creation date, and much more information about a file. In a simple way, a directory is just a file that contains other files. The directory structure is organization of files into a hierarchy of folders. It should be stable and scalable. File systems use directories to organize files within a storage device such as a hard disk drive or solid-state drive. System files may be located in one directory while user files may be stored in some other directory. Now if I talk about the Linux file system structure, then Linux file system has a hierarchical file structure as it contains a root directory and its subdirectories. All other directories can be accessed from this root directories. Well, a file system is designed in a way so that it can manage and provide space for non-volatile storage data. The data structures need to support a hierarchical directory structure. This structure is used to describe the available and used disk space for a particular block. It also has the other details about the files like update and last modified. Also, it stores advanced information about the section of the disk, such as partitions and volumes. The advanced data and the structure that it represents contain the information about the file system stored on the drive. It is distinct and independent of the file system metadata. Now if I talk about Linux file system features, then it specifies paths. To separate the components, it uses the forward slash as an alternative. Partition, directories, and drives. Linux does not use drive letters to organize the drive as Windows does. In Linux, we cannot tell whether we are addressing a partition, a network device, or an ordinary directory and a drive. Case sensitivity. Linux file system is case sensitive. It distinguishes between lowercase and uppercase file names. This rule is also applied for directories and Linux commands. So in order to fetch data from a file, you have to be more careful while writing the name of the file. File extensions. In Linux, a file may have the extension like .txt, but it is not necessary that a file should have a file extension. While working with shell, it creates some problem for the beginners to differentiate between files and directories. If we use the graphical file manager, it symbolizes the files and folders. Hidden files. Linux distinguishes between standard files and hidden files. Mostly the configuration files are hidden in Linux operating system. Usually we don't need to access or read the hidden files. The hidden files in Linux are represented by a dot before the file name. Now let's talk about different Linux file system types. As most of the recent Linux distributions use ext4 extended 4 file system, which is modern and upgraded version of older ext3 and ext2 file systems. Reason behind most of the Linux distributions use ext4 file system is that it is one of the most stable and flexible file systems out there. ext4 file system system is the faster file system among all ext file system. It is a very compatible option for the SSD disk and it is the default file system in Linux distribution. If I talk about other file system, then the other file systems are JFS file system, XFS file system, BTRFS file system, swap file system, F2FS, ext2 and ext3 file system. What about the Linux file system structure? To know the Linux file system structure, let's begin with the entry or starting point of the directories. Now here you can see the root directory. This is the entry point of all directories and is described as a /, which is actually the home of the operating system. Everything is in it. Not every user has read and write privileges to the directory. Only the administrators or allowed users of the operating systems can have access to such privileges. You can access root directory using a /. The other directory you can see here is bin directory. This directory has all the binary files of some important programs on the operating system. This directory holds the data about the most used commands related to making, moving, copying, listing and removing a directory or file. According to the Linux file system standards, this directory cannot have subdirectories. The next directory I'm going to talk about is boot directory. This is the directory that handles the ignition of the Linux operating systems. First of all, you don't need to modify anything in this directory. Otherwise, you can't alter anything in it unless you have administrator's right. You should stay away from doing anything in this directory or else it will be a huge mess to set it up again. Next directory is dev directory. This directory holds the file of devices like CPU, disk and USB. Most of the files are either created on the boot time or when a device is attached. Next directory is etc. This may seem a little bit funny to you, but this directory is for those types of configuration files and folders in which the system does not know where to put them. So it is an etc. etc. directory for the Linux operating system. The next directory here is home directory. This is the directory where most of the user's personal data is placed. A user spends most of his time here because desktop, documents, download, music, pictures, public, snap, templates and videos. All known directories are in this home directory. All the .configuration files of a user are also here. The next directory here is lib directory. These are the folders where libraries are stored. Libraries are some files that are needed by any application to perform several tasks or functions. For example, these libraries may be needed by the binary files in the bin directory. Media directory. This is the directory where all the external connected storage devices are mounted automatically. We do not need to do anything in this directory because it is managed by the operating system itself. But if we want to mount storage devices manually, we have the MNT directory for that purpose. This is the directory where you can find the other mounted drives. For example, a USB drive, an external hard drive or a floppy disk drive. This is not used nowadays because the devices are automatically mounted to the media directory, but this is where we can mount our storage devices manually. The next directory here is OPT. This is the optional folder. It is the directory where manually installed softwares by vendors is placed. This is the directory with pseudo files. The pseudo files contain information about the processes. SBin directory. This directory is just like the bin directory, but this is used by super user and that is why S is used before bin. Snap directory. This is the directory with the snap packages stored in it. SRV directory. This directory stores the data of the services running on the system. For example, it holds the data if a server is running on the operating system. Sys directory. This directory is always created during boot time, so it is a virtual directory like dev and is the directory when you want to communicate to the kernel. It also holds information related related to the connected devices. TMP directory. This is a temporary directory and holds the temporary files of the applications running on the system. Here I want to give you a pro tip. Some applications like database systems use this folder to create logs of the databases when a transaction is going on. So don't delete anything from this folder without knowing the purpose of the object. Some running applications may be using the content of their TMP file. USR directory. This directory contains the applications installed and used by the user. It is also known as the Unix system resources. It also has its own super user bin and library directory. This is a variable directory that contains the files and folders whose size is expected to increase with the passage of time and the system's usage. It is too easy to get the data of a directory on terminal. You need to write cd to change the directory / and the name of the directory. Let's suppose the name of the directory is home and then hit enter. Now you can find all the list of the documents available in directory by running the command ls and then hit enter. Here you can see the data of the etc. directory where all those files and folders are available about which the system does not know where to put them. So that's it for today. If you have any queries, reach out to us in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. I'll see you in the next video.